We talked about some PTO candidates last week. Well, the Maple Leafs are bringing Noah Gregor, 25 years of age, on a PTO to training camp this month.
I see that. I see that. The number one thing I like about this is a good Alberta boy. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. I hope he has a good camp. I've heard he's got some speed. Can maybe fit in on that fourth line role. My advice, if you're listening, Noah, play with a chip on your shoulder, crash and bang a little bit, get in those exhibition games. Fuck it. Drop your gloves and wrestle some guy to the ice. Show that you can play with a little bit of jam. Tree living will just go like this. Ooh, we need some of that. And you're on the fucking team. Not hard. You just got to strap some balls on. And I know a good Alberta boy can get that done.
And so we talked about last week again some potential names. I identified the center ice position because Dylan Gambrell, who they signed in the offseason, I guess right now is slated as their 4C. I mean, a lot can change in the bottom six. Sam Lafferty can slot down, be their fourth line center. But I love the idea of internal competition. So they're going to bring this guy in on a Trout in camp. And I think he's going to, at the very least, push some other guys down the roster, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's one thing for sure. You're going to be dealing with a desperate player, right? He didn't
Yeah.
get qualified by San Jose. He goes through, July 1st seems like a long time ago, and nothing's come up. He hasn't got a contract, hasn't got a deal, hasn't had anything put in place. So, obviously this was his best option as far as today goes. Takes the PTO. He's going to come to Toronto and try to make some noise. So he's going to be playing with desperation for his NHL career and do a little bit of background research on the guy. I think he's got some speed and some upside, and some people think he's underrated. So that's all good things. And this guy, like I said, is going to be fighting for his life. He will be desperate, and like you say, he can push some other guys as well to say, "Holy smokes, I don't want this guy to come in here and steal my job." And that's what training camp and the preseason is all about is figuring out who wants this damn thing.
Look at you doing some homework. I like that. So you're right. He played 57 games last year for one of the worst teams in hockey in the San Jose Sharks. He did have 10 goals, three of which came during a hat trick performance. So 7 plus 3, but still pretty good effort. I think ideally from a bottom six guy, you're looking for a bit of depth. You're looking for some size. I think he had 97 hits last year. But again, I like the idea of having guys push others in camp. Like, who knows if it makes sense cap wise, and he'll be the league minimum for sure. But at the very least, it makes Dylan Gambrell think, you know what, I don't have a roster spot just by walking into camp, and so I don't mind that. And yeah, reading up on him, watching him the way I have the last couple years as well. He was on the World Championship team a couple years ago. He's a guy who can sneak up on some people, and he plays with pace. Like, I think he's exactly what you need on this roster.
Yeah, and if there's anything that, brass and coaching staff hate, it is complacency. And if guys come to camp and they're still in summer mode and they're just going to use the camp and the preseason to kind of get their legs under them, like that's not how this league works. Anyone can come and take your job at any time. There's tons of guys clipping at your heels all the time. At least you should feel that and you should play like that. So that internal competition, there's nothing wrong with it at all. Gives him an extra guy to look at. And if you know what, if he puts himself in a position to go out and steal a spot, there might be some tough decisions to make come opening night.